All right. Hello, everyone. My name's Mark, and this here is Tom Miller and one of his assistants in my garage in Amherst, bringing a old piano that was donated. And as you can see, old pianos are boring. They're brown. Nobody really cares about them. But the thing is, what you do is you put some colorful paint on them, and then everybody cares about them. So what happened was I had to figure out, and I'm not technical and I'm not a construction type of guy, but I had to figure out how to make these pianos look better. So I did some sanding with sandpaper, and then I got some white primer paint, and then I basically said to my friends, come over and help me make this look interesting. So as you can see, my friend with crazy red hair there, Heidi, came over, and she made some stencils and did that on the side of that piano. Now this was a former player piano, and we took the player part out and kept it simple. I learned that there are 4 different types of pianos. Most of mine are upright pianos, but this one's called a player spinet. And this is a little kid that came over and smiled and he goes, I love the birdies and the butterflies. And I thought, you know, all these kids today, they spend so much time on their iPhones. It's boring. You know, they need to actually touch something. They need to do something. And that's the fun of old pianos. They get to go wild and have fun. And how many times have you told a child, don't touch that, don't touch that? Well, these pianos are all about touching them. So then I ended up with 3 huge upright pianos in my tiny 1-car garage. As you can see, there was no room for my car for about 8 months. That was awkward. And these were old pianos donated from various people. And in the whole project, I probably had about 15 pianos given to me. Some of them got destroyed by the weather, as you can imagine. Now this was YNN, which is now Time Warner Cable News. They came at 6 a.m., and I'm not a morning person, but I managed to get on the TV talking about this old piano that's a Kurtzman built in 1898 in Buffalo on Niagara Street, donated by Daniel Kalinsky, who grew up near Larkin, the original building, and that piano ended up going to Larkin Square. So back in Mother's Day time, 2 years ago, this piano ended up at the waterfront at Canal Side, and a lot of people really, really, really enjoyed it. And a lot of tourists took pictures with it. And as you can see, it's a cool vista. The problem was it was too close to the water, and it got rained on a lot, so then eventually I had to figure out how to get a cover for it. This piano here is in transformation state right here. As you can see, it has boring, typical white keys. Well, here's a kicker. If you paint the keys, which you can do, and you don't have to be scared about it, it turns out great. And that piano, that piano had like green and yellow and blue and orange piano keys. So Canal Side was like bummed out because the keys were sticking. They got too big because of humidity and all. So I had to come up with an idea. So I had Tom Miller and Miller Piano Service bring a piano, and Heidi and I painted that in about 3 hours at the water's edge. And a lot of people came up and said, you're doing this in Buffalo? I thought nothing good happens here. And I said, I said, I'm getting it going. I'm doing something about that. So here's Enid Edelman and Carol Saddleberg at the Amherst Senior Center. I had them paint one of the pianos from their place that was not being used, and that piano ended up at various places, including the Williamsville Public Library on Main Street this past summer. This is a rock band called Breaker Box. Christina is an artist herself, and she did a few caricatures on that piano that ended up at the Mansion on Delaware's Pocket Park, which many people used and enjoyed. And in fact, the piano there this summer was played by the rock band Journey, and the video went viral and was on Channel 2. No offense, Channel 4. This here is a piano I went crazy with crazy colors. You can see pink all over it and such. That was at West Side Stories on Grant Street on the west side, and that was during the Taste of Diversity Festival. And basically, a lot of people really love the piano. Now, here's the kicker. There's a piano there now, and I have no idea who did it or how it got there. Someone did it and put one there, a new one. This is a piano that I did and made it colorful, and this piano's been about everywhere. See, what happens is a piano goes bad, and then I have to replace it. So this one ended up at Karamichi's on Hurdle Avenue outside at the outdoor patio for the summertime, and then Diane Sarah puts it indoors for winter. As you can see, that piano was also at Canal Side, and the nice thing about pianos in public is anybody can use them. It doesn't matter if you're old or young or not too swift at the piano, or if you're a concert pianist. In fact, some people from Carnegie Hall have played the pianos. So, and they give mini concerts just on the streets and around town, which I think is awesome. So I help out at Kingdom Bound Christian Music Festival, and I decided to do a piano where people would write on it what they're thankful to God for. So I had some markers and brought it to Darien Lake, and about 300 kids wrote on it, and that ended up at Bender's Christian Supplies on Sheridan Drive in Williamsville, where it's now in kind of storage, and we'll see if it comes back. So here's the Larkin Square piano, the old Kurtzman. Originally the first year it was all white, but then it got dirty, so I painted it orange with a sponge. And I did it in the back of a trailer with no lights, and it was like this the whole time, and it was really hard to paint. And as you can see, the colorful keys, that was the highlight for most kids and the fun adults that visited Larkin Square for the many fun things. A young lady named Sarah Buzek, she did this. This is the Planned Futures Financial Group piano. I ended up getting some financial help from Planned Futures Financial and some other sponsors, and that ended up at Sweet Jenny's at the Red Mill Complex in Williamsville. And then there was a piano, the guy that sponsored it, his brother owns a D. Lawrence Gannan funeral home, and that was the Kenmore piano that he wanted, and so he sponsored that one, and I painted it with the colors of Kenmore West and Kenmore East, and that's been in the Kenmore gazebo at Delaware, and people love it. So if you want to see more pictures, there's more pianos. It's at beautifulbuffalo.com, and I really like doing it, and I'll do it next year. Thank you.